Hello, everyone. My name is Whitney Red. I'm an educator in Oakland, California. I teach third grade. I am starting this channel because I want to help other educators become better educators. And I don't want that to sound cocky or ridiculous or anything like that. I just see that a lot of new teachers are struggling with classroom management, engagement, community building, getting those grades up. And I just have some tools for you. So, hello, this is going to be called the Red Method. And we're going to have Method Mondays. And so today's first Method Monday is going to be focusing on the classroom environment. If you can just see a little peek around just from this way, you will see that I have done taken a very big step in making sure that my classroom is a space where learning is conducive, where it is a conducive space for learning, because students deserve quality classrooms that are not cluttered, that are intentional, that have spacing. So there's a writing location, or there's a place where they come together as a community, so that they can do the learning. The job isn't to be in the issue for students shouldn't be that they have to figure out where they can do the work. They should know automatically where they can go to do the work, the learning. And so that's just something that's already taken off their plate. I am joined here by my very close friend, Shmara Mitchell. She is a special ed, severe to moderate, moderate to severe, yes. K2 educator in Oakland as well. She works at a historically Black elementary school, and she is fire. I met her 2 years ago at a teachers conference, and we have been locked in ever since. And we often discuss education and how we want to change the trajectory of our students' lives, especially here in Oakland. Oakland is a community that was built by the Black Panthers, where there was community schooling and free food programs and nursing, hospitals, stuff like that. And a lot of that stuff was taken away. But a lot of that stuff is still the thread line, the through line from Black Panther days to now. And I just want to we want to carry the torch. We want to continue to help our Black and brown students just thrive and not survive, right? We don't want them just to be coming to school. We're not daycare workers. We want them to learn and process and engage in their community and be strong members of society. And I read something on LinkedIn the other day that said that educate like democracy is on the line. And I said, educate like the world is on the line, because we have to be, Paulo Freire says, make change agents. We have to educate in a manner that students can become change agents for the world that they want to see around them. And one of those major things is starting out with their environment. So kids in Title I schools that's poverty, violence, a lot of times, what's that word for co-traumas is like a lot of built on each other. I'll look that up and plug that in. No, it's like if they check off these 5 points on a list, they're considered about. They just already come in with these traumas, and then they stack on each other and they stack on each other. And so school should be really a fun and safe, beautiful place to learn. And so I just want to really hone in on classroom environment. So I'm going to take you around a tour of my classroom. I, again, teach third grade, and we learn about rainforests and frog adaptations in the second module. Freaky Frog research, books or whatever. So I decided to turn my classroom into a rainforest, okay? And it is a joy. Before I turn the camera, I want to shout out my very good friend Shalia and her stepchildren and her partner Matt. Matt and her stepchildren Cole and Bryn came in and helped me paint this classroom a beautiful green. Cole, who was 15 at the time, free-handed the trees and the birds and the mushrooms and the frogs. And Shalia cut out all these like vinyl stickers so that I could paste to my bookshelves. And we put up all these leaves and water and all this stuff. We hung plants from the ceiling. And so I just want to I want to shout out to my boo, Shalia and Matt and Cole and Bryn. Thank you guys so much for loving my kids. And it was a 2-day process. It was supposed to be like 4 hours. And Cole came in and, I'm about to be emotional. The weekend that I came to work was the weekend that my cousin Kendall was shot and killed. And Black young man, shout out to my cousin Auntie Kelly, and we were in here. And I didn't want to show, I'm gonna get emotional. I didn't want to show the kids my emotion, but I couldn't stop crying in the corner. But I needed to get it done because my kids were going to come in on Monday and we were here on Sunday. My principal had opened up the school so I could paint it on Saturday and Sunday. And Cole said, Cole said, as long as Miss Whitney is here, I'm going to be here. So shout out to my people. And this classroom is actually dedicated to my cousin Kendall. And so here we go. Let's go on a tour. So, and I just want to shout out to all of my very, very close friends. My girl Sham is crying. We care about our community. We love Black babies. We love boys. We want to make sure that their lives are beautiful and long lasting. And we want to change violence through education and things like that. So this is the first step. So I also want to shout out my high school best friends, Sophie, Alyssa, the diaspora of friends who poured into my classroom. My classroom, they told me I couldn't do it. Donors choose. My classroom list was $2,500, and baby, my people came through. Okay, they said I had a dream and they wanted to help me fulfill it, and my babies came through. So, thank you to everybody who donated to the Donors Choose that made this classroom into the dream that I had. They told me I could only ever get like $200 or $300. Baby, we dream big. We reach for the stars and we make it happen. So, okay, so this is just, basic, and we have some SIP stuff going on, and we have some blue to represent waterfalls and things, because it's a rainforest and it's supposed to be wet. Butterflies, and I'm going to get to my care system in a minute. We go over this all the time. Kindness is a gift. Thank you. Say hello. I have hugs, hellos, and high fives. Those are my 3 H's. I have systems, but we're going to get to that. Because how are you going to know your babies if you don't say hello? How are you going to walk in the classroom? But anyway, here we go. There's a junkie down there, but this is a beautiful butterfly and parrot freehand from Cole. My friend Cuba got up there on top of that and posted up that rainforest that Shalia had bought for my classroom. Matt is a brilliant artist, and so he sketched out. He put the projector there, and then put it on onto here, and then penciled, and then went through and painted. Shalia drew my orchids. I love orchids. Beautiful. All these beautiful plants, flowers. And we just made leaves everywhere. Freehand. Look at our frog. We were learning about frogs, so he wanted to make sure we got frogs. All of these flowers and trees. And yeah, look at the lily pads up there. So beautiful. So I absolutely adore my classroom. And then I want to shout out to my best friend, Casey Jones. She loves my kids. She comes in on Fun Fridays, and she helped me before the school year start find matching tables. Because if you in public school, baby, the tables are not going to match, okay? Okay, so we went and we scoured. We literally tape measured the tables, found all the green matching, okay? Period. I want to shout out, point out my Peace Corner. Shalia, my dog, she donated this Barbie Dream House from Bryn. Bryn donated Barbie Dream House. This is just a safe space for my kids. There are emotional learning books. Oh, there's a frog book. That's not supposed to be there. But as you can see, I made a very conscious effort to make everything wooden, as if we were actually in nature. And so all of the tables and everything are wooden. This is our SEL books. Again, plants and flowers. This is our writing table. Made a very conscious effort to make it wooden and very there. This is our library, and we have our science, and we do some bugs, and we have an anaconda skin, python skin over here because we have a lovely, lovely friend that we met from the neighborhood. Her name is Miss Caitlin, and Miss Caitlin came and taught science every Tuesday because I met her at the garden, and we go on field trips to the neighborhood garden right across the street, and she loves my baby so much, she literally taught them science. That curriculum is difficult and it's outdated, and she taught them science. Again, hi, this is Shem. Hi, baby. And so just all of the effort and work and it took a long time, and then we got our green rug, which is about $600, okay? That's where the majority of that 2,000 for, okay? But we call them our lily pads or whatever, right? And so, and then in third grade, we learned the gist. So everything is just very intentional, right? So there's mess, there's a little bit of clutter, but in general, it's a very light space with green and brightness. We leave the windows open. We open the windows. We let fresh air in. Kids should not be in a space that's like an asylum or a prison cell or whatever. So yes, you may not get $2,500 or whatever the thing. I'm not trying to put a price tag. I'm just saying you can make the spaces beautiful. We have Miss Patton upstairs. She decluttered the classroom, honey, and that thing is thriving. There's plants everywhere. I love Miss Patton. So I just think that environments matter. Safe environments, clean environments, beautiful environments matter, and it helps students learn a lot more. I wanted to talk to Sham, just open up the discussion for a quick little bit. Shmara was talking about, and we hung parrots from the ceiling and leaves. We don't play. Serious. Okay, so come on, Sham, let's have our conversation here. I want to have our beautiful background here. So Sham, you just told me the other day that you were reading something about
PD.
So she was at a professional development.
Autism evidence-based practice, professional development.
Okay, and can you discuss more about what you texted me about it, and you said I thought about your classroom, so I wanted to have her on my first show as I was discussing
every 2 weeks I'm in SPED, we have a professional development, and so we started a whole autism professional evidence-based practice one. So 1 week was behaviors, 1 week we might be doing emotional regulation. This last PD was on classroom setting and management.
Love it.
And one of the biggest things they were saying is color. And she was like, it has been studied that green is a calming color. And as soon as she said that, I was like, oh my God, Miss Whitney's classroom is green. But the setting is important because it's their second home away from home.
They spend a
lot of time in here, and a lot of these old schools is concrete with fluorescent lights.
And it used to be yellow
and
windows.
Seasonal depression is real. We're in the north. It gets gray. So open the windows. Also, some kids can hear the fluorescent vibrating, the little zzz, and it's not a natural light. So. Also, how she said she has areas. You need to have areas so kids know what is expected in that area, or it's cohesive. When it's just jumbled, they can't learn in the messy area.
Yeah, I love that so much. And I think I was going to forgot to bring my Zaretta Hammond book, but I was going to try to discuss the fact that Zaretta Hammond, Culturally Responsive Teaching and the Brain, and I love that book. Zaretta, call me, girl. I don't know you yet, but please, let's be friends. Amazing. It literally changed my life. I already thought I was doing good work, but it really helped me understand, again, the brain, the chemistry of the brain, and how you say creating a safe environment. So psychologically, for sure, right? Structure, systems, routines, that's safe. That opens up the brain so the amygdala is not the guard dog doing its thing. But also, in the reading you were talking about just green or nature. You were talking about being in nature. And so a lot of times we are
in plants.
Yes, we are in the hood, right? So we are in Oakland. we can't run outside. We don't have our yard is a black top. There is no grass. It is kaput. Okay. So where would our kids get light and brightness and joy and a sense of calm, as you were saying, right? It is a very calming, even though it's bright green and different colors and shades of green, it's still green. Imagine, I know that when I sit in nature, when I'm under a beautiful tree, or even when I'm just driving down, like if you're in Alameda and you're driving through those trees that like line those beautiful homes, and or you just sniff grass or the flowers, ocean. All of those things, right? And so why wouldn't kids thrive in those spaces as well? And so I just
I play nature sounds, like in the morning when they come in. It's right now we're doing spring sounds because we're in spring, so it's the birds and they just, I don't know, I find it calming too. I love that. So in the morning they come into the nature sounds, and then when we're doing rotations I might play music. But it's either classical music, sometimes I play Latino music because we got to include, bring culture into the classroom.
Claro que sí.
Yes. So, and then I have 2 students that are from the Middle East, so I'm still trying to learn their kind of music.
I try to do that as well, absolutely. I'm like, what song do we sing for this? Or like, do you have a song for this? Like, what's the birthday song?
Because we are a family, and you want them to feel at home. And so all of it. To build community, you have to bring their community inside.
Absolutely. And again, we are inside, we're here 6 hours a day or more. And then if they go to after school programs and stuff like that. So they're just at school, like they're all day in these environments. And so why wouldn't we give them a space that's loving and thriving and they can see themselves grow? When it was hot last summer, when we first got into school in August, I had a spray bottle that we used to spray the plants with. And so my kids would come in super hot and they would lay on the lily pads, on the carpet, on the rug, and then they said, "We're a plant." And then they would say, "Spray us, Miss Whitney," because they were hot. We were trying to cool down. And they would be like, "Spray us, Miss Whitney." And I would spray them. And then they'd be like, "Ah," and they would put their their arms and their legs up. And so they were like little plants sprouting, right? Because we're also learning about plants and nature. Anyway,
I got spray bottles, but I need to incorporate the plant. They just be out there squirting each other.
Well, we also was doing that. They told me they were plants. I didn't say they was plants. They was just and they was like, so again,
a sense of community.
Exactly. And opening up space for creativity and also incorporating science and all the things that we've already learned. And so just loving that and them knowing that they're in a nature space. So like, they're not saying like, "Oh, we're sharks or something or whatever weird." They're like, "No, we're plants. Spray us. We'll grow." And I just love that so much.
And I love how you said that we live, Oakland is, it's not a concrete jungle like New York, but it's very city. We don't have a lot of parks. And so to bring that in here, like we went camping. It was only 2 days, but we went up camping. I forgot what it's called, but it's on the coast. Some of those 5th graders, that was their first time ever at a beach. So it's really important that we bring school isn't just about academics. We are building life skills. We're teaching them to adapt. We just bring
social, emotional, letting them know what they can deserve and what they can reach for. Like, one of the things that really inspires me the most is that when I was in middle school, I was in San Lorenzo, and then my mom and I moved to Oakland. So I went to school in Oakland, and I did not do well. I was always a straight A student in elementary school, but I'm in my middle school years, you're starting to smell yourself. You don't know what works. Teachers are kind of checked. I don't want to put that on teachers, but my teachers at the time were checked out. And I stopped caring. I really stopped caring. So my mama pulled me out and put me in a private school in Menlo Park. So I had to commute every day. But the academic rigor and the expectations, but we also got to travel to Mexico. And that's why I'm bilingual, right? Because I'm getting exposed to stuff where I wasn't exposed to it before. I remember having a science teacher was like, "Just put your name on the paper and turn it in. That lets me know. But if you don't put your name, then you get a grade. But if you don't," I'm like, that's nothing, right? This is not substantial, right? And so then you misbehave, right? Because you don't have substantial opportunities. Then once you have things you want to look forward to, like wood shop or, gardening or.
It's okay to set your expectations high for your students. We got to stop putting low expectations for our Black and brown kids. We always talk about generational wealth. We need to talk about generational education. It needs to stop at, my parents just went to high school.
Trademark that, baby.
So we know I want to build education so the kids are they can come from a family where everyone went to college, or
Yes.
everyone is, you know, like
Yeah.
we put so much emphasis on money, but we need to focus more on education.
And I think that that's really kind of what's been lacking, is that kids don't feel necessarily cared for. I know I had a student 2 or 3 years ago. Her mom was like, I had a terrible job, like schooling. So she was very protective and worried about her kids. I said, please come inside. I said, I have an open door policy.
Mm-hmm.
And she would come and sit. We was reading Peter Pan, and she was a grown woman, but she was raising, it was cute. I didn't care. Because for me, we were
You're reprogramming your identity, how she felt about education.
Yes, and what it looks like and what it could look like and what it could be. You don't have to have negative experience with education. I tell people I leave my job every day happy. Every single day.
I'm tired.
She whooped.
I'm tired.
She got
but I love it.
She got runners. I don't have runners. We'll talk about classroom management and structures in the next one. But we are happy. We love the work that we do. We just thrive off each other and work with each other because we're so happy in the work. She makes her little, okay, we'll get into that on the next one.
I do want to say I had a parent come for a tour Friday. And I was like, oh Lord, I don't need another student because I'm already over cap. But she was looking at schools for the fall. And I was like, well, how'd you hear about us? Her mom went to bingo and somebody at bingo told her about my class. And so she wanted to come and find out about it. And she said, as soon as she walked in and just saw the environment.
I love her.
That's how important it is.
Yes.
But also, they need to stop talking about my classroom because I don't need more people.
They overcap her. They keep wanting to, anyway, my baby, give her.
But that's how important the environment. If someone can walk in and already feel like, oh, okay.
And, you know, and then just making it on, like my kids, they are responsible for the classroom. This is our classroom. I'm like, you know, y'all, I'm here to teach. What's y'all, we are community. So what do we
my kids clean and they have autism.
Yeah.
I'm like, you picking that up.
Yeah. And look, I did not clean a lick of this classroom. Them children, and they do a wonderful job. And when they come in second grade, some of them really don't, they were like, Miss Whitney, what do you think you should do? How do you think you can do it? Do you want to ask your neighbor? So anyway, we'll get more into community building. This was just the first Red Method introduction. Method Monday. Thank you so much. This has been on my heart for so long. I have been in education most of my career. I've always volunteered, done academic mentoring, even when I didn't have my bachelor's. Like I've always worked in, after school programming, and I have just learned to find so much joy in kids in all these fun techniques. And so I want to continue to teach new educators. This is for y'all, or even old educators who want some new spritz into their life. Life does not have people. Every time I talk, they say, "Ooh, education is hard." And I literally am like, maybe, but not every day. Every day does not have to be terrible. Every day does not have to be a struggle. And the start framing is setting up your classroom, is creating the environment in the community that you want to see for yourself in your world. So then you can, like as Sham said, the expectations. My expectations is that my classroom is beautiful and loving and joyous. And then my students are beautiful and loving and joyous. And therefore I am beautiful and loving and joyous. And so it's all into itself, it all falls into itself. I love my Sham Bam. We are locked in.
Y'all gonna have to come see my classroom.
And yes, please. And
it's nature themed, but mine is like flowers. Because I feel like everyone blooms differently, but we come together as a bouquet and it's beautiful.
So. Look at this girl. We all different.
Yes.
Different flowers.
All different flowers.
But put them all in together.
It's a beautiful bouquet.
A beautiful garden, baby.
So our bulletin board, watch us bloom.
I love it. I do remember you telling me about that. And actually, yes, I would love to. We can, make this a series, go visit different classrooms. And
because I'm nosy. I want to see other classrooms.
I want to see if you guys know listen, this is interactive. So if you guys, this is just my first video, but if you guys want to highlight your classroom, please share it. And
what do they say? Put it in the
put it in the comments below, or whatever it is. I am having a really beautiful school year with my students, and the more I teach, the more I'm confident in the methods.
I feel like the more I teach, the more I learn.
and I implement new strategies all the time, and I'm so excited. I love it, and I implemented Zaretta Hammond. I just got you in the summer, baby, and you are that goat. I soon will be talking about Paulo Freire. I never know how to say his name correctly, but he's another goat. Of course, you know, people always speak about him. But Zaretta Hammond talking about building dendrites and just pushing those kids, but it's just so much. So we'll get into it. I just want to say that you inspire me. Other educators, as my boo here, just lifelong educators that I adore. And new educators who are like progressive and pushing the envelope. This is for us. Like, let's become a community. Let's be strong. I want to shout out real quick my Reach professor, Kara Fleshman. That's my dog. We want to just change the world. We're not talking about complacency. We're talking about thinking outside the box because the world is greater. And we have to do, we can't keep sticking.
No, building community. Like at our school, we have a washer and dryer.
I love that.
We have a kitchen, like
basic needs, right. Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
We don't say we're a community. We are a community school. Come, you know.
Yeah.
And it's even a note because teachers try to be washing their clothes, and it's like, nope, during the daytime. It's for parents. You know, they need to come watch their students' clothes. Mm-hmm. We got the kitchen if they need to, you know, prepare a meal. It just.
So again, creating an environment that's welcoming and loving and meets the needs of the community.
Yes.
So that people can be okay. Mm-hmm. And again, not just surviving. The plan is to thrive.
Yep. And we're building gardens now.
I love
in the front. So I love it. I wanted like butterfly gardens, so we're working on the front first because we got to teach the kids not to pull them plants out on the yard.
They'll learn.
But yes.
But then they'll become gardeners and they'll put their hands in the dirt and they'll learn that that's a therapeutic method of, you know, letting out, touching the soil.
They will take responsibility and tell their friends, like, don't pull that out.
Exactly. And that's what I say. I'm like, y'all, you know, like, this is your classroom. Like, you're responsible for what it is. So, okay, we're a little long, but
yeah, I'm proud of you. This is gonna take off.
I just, y'all. I thank you, and if you have any comments, please, you know, I don't know,
say? Like, subscribe,
and follow, like, subscribe, and forward or something like that. Ring the bell.
It's the first one.
Well, I'll get it better down. And then I just want to sign out with my I'm gonna have a closing, and it's gonna be please be a good community member. Please have agency over your learning. Please be respectful to one another, and please be engaged. And that is my system. I call it the CARE system: community, agency, respect, and engagement. And it's all around my classroom. Ask kids who have ever been taught by me. We are a community, and we care for each other. Community, agency, respect, and engagement. And all of those things help us learn and be good people. We're not just building, like we said, minds. We're building hearts and spirits and souls and passions.
Building the future.
Yeah. So with that, thank you all for tuning into my Method Mondays. And my name is Whitney Red. I'm a third grade educator here in Oakland. Please feel free to ask any questions in the comments.
Yay.
Goodbye, everyone.